Hello, I'm Joseph Musalem. I am a cloud architect and I am leading the architecture stream in the sovereignty program of Fujitsu. When we're talking about this framework and how to ensure that it really reflects the complexity, we need to start thinking about the digital sovereignty as if it's not just a single technology problem. I mean, we know that for a fact that customers or most of the customers really use multiple hyperscalers. They use on-premises solutions, they use the legacy systems, AI workload, etc. So basically oversimplifying these landscape or that landscape really leads us to taking bad decisions sometimes. So Fujitsu's approach is an evidence-based approach and a multidimensional one. So what we try to do during the discovery phase of this assessment of this sovereignty program that we are doing, we try to combine executive interviews and with deep technical workshops, not just only to understand where the infrastructure or systems are hosted, but really to understand where the data is, who controls the data, and where the dependency really sits. So the output will be a balanced roadmap, comprehensive enough to be meaningful, but yet concise also and timely to enable actions as well. Usually most organizations or customers tend to score lowest on three main pillars: supply chain, technology, and environmental sovereignty pillar. So when we talk about supply chain, we know that for a fact most of the organizations has some manufacturing outside Europe, and that includes software and hardware as well. So, and that's why the customers has a lot of dependencies on that. So this is the first, let's say, pillar where they usually score the lowest. When we talk about technology sovereignty, vendor lock is often underestimated, and for a fact we know that AI services are growing a lot as well. So we also have limited transparency on the model training, on the data residency, and also on governance. Now, for the third pillar where I think they score the lowest is the environmental pillar. As I mentioned, it's a very challenging pillar of sovereignty. Why? Because it's all related to the war on energy worldwide and the geopolitical tensions that we are seeing nowadays, and the dependency on sustainable energy to run this digital infrastructure. So the framework of Fujitsu exposes really those blind spots to help the leaders understand the risks they are exposed to. So when we talk about the core dimensions and pillars of Fujitsu sovereignty framework, they are built around 8 main pillars. Why 8? Because it's a combination of Gartner's sovereignty pillars and the European Cloud Sovereign Framework pillars as well. So the 8 pillars are the strategic pillar, the legal and jurisdiction one, the data and AI, the supply chain, the operational pillar, technology, security and compliance, and environmental pillar. So the advisory services of Fujitsu focuses on these 8 pillars to assess and score the current posture of the customer, as well as the potential improvement that can be done to enhance their sovereignty. The assessment alone, as we said, isn't enough. So what matters next is what happened. So the framework is an embedded within a time bound. It's a 4 weeks of delivery model that moves between discovery phase, analysis phase, and the output report and roadmap. So the output is not just a score. It's a prioritized roadmap with concrete actions, timeline, and a defensible budget. So each recommendation is mapped against a technical risk, a business impact, and the feasibility as well. So we try to balance the options between local European providers, sovereign offerings, hyperscalers, security controls, and AI technologies. And the goal is very simple. It is to give the leaders the clarity, the direction, and the confidence to act within this roadmap and the way to execute it within their operational and financial constraints. So when we think about the framework, so how to align with the EU regulation. So one of the biggest frustration, I can call it, we see is organizations facing overlapping, fast-moving EU regulation without really a clear vision and how to translate them into technical decisions. So Fujitsu's framework aligned with sovereignty assessment and it aligns with the leading European benchmark, so including the European Cloud Framework that we discussed before, data protection requirement, emerging AI governance, but really rather than treating these standards as a checklist, we try to map them to a practical and architectural controls. So at the end, the result is that the compliance will become a byproduct of a good design. So customers will gain a clear view of how regulatory expectation can translate into platform choices, operating models, and will provide strategies that will reduce reactive compliance work over time.